I am tired of all these streaming apps.
Oh my God, what's wrong now?
$10 a month, $20 a month, and if you get the no ads plan, it's suddenly triple.
Ugh, yeah, that hurts.
I just want to listen to music without worrying about costs, shuffle it, hear surprises, pay less.
You can.
Wait, what?
This.
Oh, wow, I forgot this song even existed. What app is this?
No app. That's 98.9 The Bull. That's called radio.
Don't ask me to talk.
Welcome to another exciting special edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. Have I overhyped this? Sorry. But we're happy to have you joining us. I'm Eric Ryder, one of your podcast pals.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacy Heller. You can't overhype this.
Never.
This is what is special about this edition, by the way?
We're both here.
Hey!
In studio.
There you go.
Which seems rarer and rarer these days.
It's true, it is.
It's going to get even rarer soon.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, I'm on the verge of, not as we tape this, but as this airs. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how last week I was talking about the cultural blind spot of regional snacks and things. And I mentioned the Goldenberg chews.
Yes.
And I brought it in for you to try.
I was excited to try it. And yeah, not bad.
Yeah, it's delish. But then I also told you that I finally cracked open the bottle, that's where my head is, the box of devil dogs that I brought back. And just not what I remember.
You just can't trust the devil.
No, he's a dog, that devil.
Right.
God, it wasn't what I was hoping for. But which is good, because the last thing that I need, honestly, is to eat a full box of devil dogs.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can get rid of them. Although I don't know where to get, do you throw them away? Is that the kind of thing that you, donate
You
somewhere?
put out a Craigslist ad for...
devil dogs?
Yeah, well, for, East Coasters that are jonesing for a taste of home. And
that's true.
You could probably make a pretty penny on these. Although,
that's true. Well,
when I looked them up earlier, they were available on Amazon, so don't charge too much. But
well, and by the way, and pennies, they're not worth anything. They're discontinued. It's interesting the signs that are up about pennies in stores where they're due to the penny shortage. And I'm like, it's not a shortage.
Right.
It is not. It is a stoppage.
yes.
And yet, stores are framing it oh, we're low on pennies, so we may not be able to give you every penny back.
Well, if they stop making them, then there's less in circulation, so the individual stores would have a shortage.
They would.
Right.
I agree, but it's technically not a shortage. It's a stoppage.
Okay. But maybe they mean a shortage within the house.
Right.
For them.
Sure. Okay. That's fine. I don't know. Is everything now going to end in 95? I know you I'm just going right over that.
Yeah, but I mean you're right. We could just have everything switched to a nickel, and it just hardly seems like a way to curb inflation.
Well, how are you going to do things for $5.99?
What about penny candy?
Right. Penny
It's all nickel candy now?
I mean, inflation, it's quarter family candy. It's $1.
Right. No, I'm sure there isn't even penny candy anymore. You couldn't even get a what was the name of the Goldenbergs? Peanut Chew.
Peanut Chew.
You couldn't get a Pikachu for a penny anymore. Individually wrapped.
Well, do they still have the little red candy machines anymore? In grocery stores and stuff? Do you remember as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
And it was
And there was, which is why I mentioned the penny candy, because
totally.
there was some that you could still get for a penny. It was like a handful of loose, dusty
they were so good.
That had, some pocket lint in there as well.
Yes.
But
And
you could get something for a penny.
Sweet tarts, candy-coated sweet tarts or something.
And the ones that always like confused me were, well, I guess it didn't confuse me, but just made me wonder who buys these is when they had like the ones that had like corn nuts in them.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. And the red pistachios, when they had red pistachios.
Right.
And now, like, red pistachios, like, red dye.
Yes.
So good. But, you knew you were eating them. Yeah, there was some interesting penny candy back in the day.
There was, yeah.
But, like, are those machines still around? And if they are, like, are you having to put in, like, remember if you wanted, like, the toy? My mother would never let me get, like, the toy thing, where you had to put in, like, 2 corners, like, simultaneously.
Those machines are around, but they are, like, $1.50 for something now, the equivalent of the
right.
junk that was a nickel when we were kids. Yeah, like $2, $3. I see them occasionally, and I'm just like, I'm blown away. But part of that is they've also made it like slightly more valuable items to go with the more expensive thing. So you get like a plastic ball in it, and it doesn't have like just a rub-on tattoo anymore. Instead, it's got an action figure or something. So,
and claw machines are big. Like if you go into like a grocery store, like Fred Meyer, for instance, which I think is around is it up and down the West Coast, or is it just Washington?
It's up and down the West Coast, yeah.
So, you go in and there's like the red box and there's claw machines.
Right. Those used to only be available like in like arcades and carnivals and stuff when we were growing up. But yeah, now they're everywhere.
Yeah. And they're still a scam.
Oh, absolutely. I've never been able to. I'll have something in the claw and start bringing it over, and it would drop out every time.
Totally.
It's like they grease those claws.
So bad. So mean for small children.
That's right.
And apparently they had one in maybe New York or somewhere. Someone was telling me about this, actually, that they had one for like a Birkin bag that you could try. And I'm like, how much is one try at that?
Right. I've seen like where they put in like an iPad with a bunch of stuffed animals. Like,
right.
Like, I'm going to get that iPad. I guarantee you pick that up and it, falls right out immediately.
Of course.
Yes.
Because like, how's it gonna hold anyway?
Nobody's getting the iPad.
No, of course not. So, hey, besides losing at claw games, what else is going on? Anything?
Well, just living.
That's good.
I just keep on living.
Is Gertie liking the fact that she can go out walking a little bit later because the light is starting to change?
Yeah, I'm liking that personally. But yeah, she's doing really well. And yeah, I took her to the trails over the last weekend. Of course, we had a little bit of sunshine. We have these windows of sunshine. Uh-huh. So it's like I look at the weather app now and go, okay, this is when we're going, kid. You chill out for now. And she starts getting antsy,
Well, my kids, I don't remember if I talked about this last week. My kids were in Cabo, and they all went together to celebrate Annie's birthday, yada, yada, yada. I talked about that. And we FaceTimed one of the days, and they're like, look, blue skies. And it was a day that we had hail locally. And I sent a picture back to them, and like they had said, not a cloud in sight. And so I was like, not a sky in the cloud, because it was just all cloud.
Yeah. Well, it is winter.
Yeah, but like, come on. It is starting to like, you can tell that I'm getting ready to move to a different place because I'm no longer defending Seattle as ardently as I was, because I'm like, there's winter other places and there's blue sky.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of sunshine and blue sky this last month. I mean, we've had like a early spring almost, but then we had like a little cold snap here that's like, hey, by the way, still winter, folks.
Yes.
It's like when Punxsutawney Phil came up and said 6 more weeks of winter. I thought he's crazy, because we're sitting here in like 50 degrees, sunshine, and it's like, I'm going to take advantage of the new patio that we had built. Oh, yeah.
Right.
And then, like, within a week, it's like, well, we could have a little snow.
Maybe we'll...
Could have some hail.
Yeah. I mean...
But I still think we need we need our own Pacific Northwest weather prognosticator because, a groundhog has no clue what's going on up here. We have way different weather patterns than the East Coast where he's at.
Different.
He's freezing his took-us off down in his burrow. We need like a, Billy the Beaver or whatever to tell us what's really happening.
Billy the Beaver. That's not bad. Well, and I remember seeing at some point, and it didn't mean anything when I had first moved here, but they were talking about like the different seasons and how there's like 12 seasons in Seattle. And, it's like there's like January and then that short few days before like 4th of July and then summer. And then it's like rainy season, like warm rainy season, and then like wet rainy season, like just a whole bunch of different things. And so instead of having 4 seasons, Seattle seems to have like cycles that are much different. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't understand this. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, this totally makes sense. Totally makes sense that there's so many frickin' cycles.
Yeah, it's unpredictable. That's the hardest part of it because we get so much nice weather, but we just don't know when it's going to happen is the problem. It's hard to plan, your days out.
Maybe you
got to be prepared for everything, I think.
It's a philosophical place. Like you're supposed to be present.
Yes. Live in the now.
Yeah, the now.
Right.
I just bought the book.
As Enumclaw Ed says.
Hey, there you go. I like that.
The
Yakima
squirrel?
Yak?
What is he? No, it's got to be like a Northwest animal, I think.
Sasquatch?
Oh, again.
What? Are you
not technically an animal?
I mean,
it's more of a cryptid, but
details. I do like Enumclaw Ed.
There you go.
I'm trying to think.
The equivalent of Punxsutawney,
a mole
would be some small town, and then
right.
Possibly a mole, I guess. Yeah.
Which, of course,
I don't think
everybody would want to kill it,
right?
Like Enumclaw Ed makes his debut.
Yes. Pops out of his hole and is mowed down.
Right. Instantly. So maybe not a mole.
Maybe not.
I'm trying to think it doesn't matter. It's okay, Stacey. You don't have to solve for this right now. It's not a marketing word problem that I need to figure out. There's
another famous groundhog that tells the weather in the South, and I'm blanking on his I think he's General Beauregard Lee, but I can't remember exactly where he's based out of. I
mean, my soon-to-be new home state of Texas. It
definitely sounds like that, but he could be from Louisiana. I'll have to look him up.
That's true. Yeah, like, is the country big enough for 2 groundhogs?
Well, apparently it has been because we've had multiple groundhogs. But what is it about groundhogs that tells the weather?
I don't know. They have a nose for news.
Yeah, General Beauregard Lee is from the state of Georgia.
Oh, there you go.
He's widely considered to be the Groundhog Day weather prognosticator for the southern United States.
Okay. Now, I have a question. Which came first, Dukes of Hazzard or Beauregard Lee?
Beauregard Lee, I think so.
Because it was the General Lee,
right.
And it was Beau and Luke Duke.
Yes.
So clearly, these are just commonplace names.
Maybe I'm just surprised that the general is not a colonel, because there's a long tradition
of colonels.
Of just giving that title to Southern gentlemen, like the colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Right.
Never fought in a war.
Nope.
But yeah, he was just bestowed the title.
He had the kernel of a good idea.
Right. I think it's spelled differently, but sure.
Come on. I'm trying to play with words again. Word play. Where is this groundhog? Louisiana?
And he's from Georgia.
Or Georgia.
Yes.
Nice way to say, like, very good.
Oh my gosh, but
Yes.
the previous forecaster before General Beauregard Lee was General Robert E. Lee,
No.
who lost the Civil War and then came back as a groundhog. Started making predictions in 1981.
Stop.
And,
That
this is
rodent.
according to Wikipedia.
Is a groundhog a rodent?
They're a woodchuck,
Oh.
which is, I think, a type of rodent.
They chuck a lot of wood.
Yes, he is a rodent and belonging to the group of large ground squirrels known as marmots. So, yeah, he's
Oh.
both a marmot and a rodent.
Interesting. See, this show is edutaining. You've learned so much, dear listener, in just the first bit of this show.
Yeah, but as I
Now, marmot is not to be confused with marmite.
correct, that's like a paste that you spread on toast in Australia.
Right. Which is apparently disgusting.
But, I think it's like a yeast thing. But, yeah, as I look at the map of where groundhogs are found, apparently just the tiniest sliver of northeast Washington would be groundhog territory. So I'm trying to think what would be up in there that would be the town.
You said northeast? Like Squim?
No, northeast, not northwest.
Oh, right. That is west, isn't it?
Yeah. But I love the idea of a rodent based out of Squim.
Squim
being our
squirrel.
weather. Yeah, it could be, Squim Sam or something like that.
Yeah. I will say that I still get my I am so thinking all the time that I'm on the East Coast still, that by east and west, I'm like, oh yeah, you can go further west. Right. Of course. That makes so much sense. Yeah, what's on the
I mean, there's very few like proper towns and cities up in this area, but Metaline possibly.
it doesn't have a catchy ring to it.
It could be Metaline Mike, our groundhog,
Oh.
or right on the border
Matt.
there between Canada is Nelway. So, but I don't know if that's on the Canadian side or the U.S. side. I think that's the Canadian side. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's got to be.
And is it further east than Wenatchee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the very northeast corner where it's basically wilderness. But maybe Tiger or he went to Jared. So look at the map of these towns. I think it's got to be Metaline, probably the only
right.
place. Yeah. So
Well-
Metaline Mike, you are now our new groundhog weather prognosticator for Washington State.
I think we should pitch this.
We're declaring this now here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. Write your congressman.
You know what? I kind of love this. Like small towns that are sort of dying out. Like I wonder what they're, speaking of forecast, like I wonder if they have a healthy, vibrant town. Like they may need this in the same way that Leavenworth decided to be like ye old, like alpine city in the middle of the Washington Alps.
Yeah.
I mean,
People could get up at, 4:30 in the morning and drive to Metaline, which has a population of 162.
this is perfect. This is perfect.
It's in Pend Oriole County in Washington State. Yeah. So,
Okay. Well, if you're listening from there, then reach out. We'd be happy to help you flesh this whole idea out. I'm a marketing whiz for things that make no sense at all.
well, we are definitely there. And as I look at pictures of Metaline, this is pretty. There's Metaline Falls, like just up the road, I guess. And that's gorgeous. And then, yeah, the town looks cute as heck.
And what do we decide to name him? Ed?
Metaline Mike.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
if
Mike.
you're going with Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, you have to do alliteration.
Yeah, you got to do alliteration. Although General Bulwark Ali from Georgia, they're not naming the place that he's from. But I think you could argue that is why he's a lesser known rodent.
Yes, because it doesn't just trip off the tongue like nobody's business.
Yeah, like Metaline Mike.
Right.
Metaline Mike says 6 more weeks of rainfall.
Yes. I think hey, you're a t-shirt designer. I think you need to come up with a t-shirt.
Maybe.
I mean, this could be our moneymaker.
It could, yeah.
And we could have Metaline be a sponsor of Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Yeah, if all 162 people chip in $1.
That will almost cover it.
That would almost cover it. That's right.
Per episode, per month.
Yes.
Perfect. I love that. All right.
You know what time it is.
It's time to
take a break and then come back and talk about our cultural blind spots. Yes.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, everybody stay tuned for more Don't Ask Me to Talk. Have you ever considered working with an image consultant or stylist, but were worried about what the experience would be like? If that sounds like you, then Michael Bruce Image Consulting is here to help. They've worked with thousands of people, and many of those individuals have shared their experiences by way of style stories. Go to michaelbruceimageconsulting.com/style stories and check out what their delighted clients have to say about their experiences. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals, Metaline Mike. No, I'm Eric Ryder. Got confused for a second there because we were talking about our good buddy, the newly christened groundhog
Yeah, for
of
Eastern
Washington State.
Yeah, because we need a West Coast groundhog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're throwing in Mike as a potential,
That's
and
right.
we did our research.
This is a groundhog that is yet to be identified.
Well,
But I got a summer project, I think. I'm going to go to Metaline and find one of these groundhogs.
and that would be like the first big event that they hold is like, hey, find a groundhog and let's have a contest to see who wins.
Get them dressed up in tux and tails.
Right?
Take a picture and send it into the show, please.
Well, and maybe that doesn't make sense for there. Maybe it's like a denim on denim, or maybe, I don't know, flannel. I don't know what they wear in Metaline. So could be anything. I'm open to it.
He just can't wear all blue because then he'll disappear in front of the weather map. We've learned that.
That's true.
From the news bloopers that come out every year.
That is true. That is fair. Okay. So, again, I am going to give this call to action to the people that are in and around Metaline. If you are looking for an activity and something to bring people to your community to increase tourism, give us a call.
That's right.
All right, but that's not what we talk about during this segment.
No, it is not.
No, this is the segment where we talk about things that have become part of the
cultural lexicon, if you will.
That's what I was going to say. And, you know, those phrases, those places that people refer to, the movie quotes, et cetera, et cetera. And this week, I have one.
Nice.
It was a real Sophie's choice trying to decide
What to watch.
Because honestly, it's like a lose-lose situation. And so I decided to watch Sophie's Choice.
Good choice.
Now, here is how...
Never seen it, but this is a movie that has loomed large in the culture since it was released in 1982. As I was saying before the show, everybody knows the phrase Sophie's Choice. That's a real Sophie's Choice, even if they have no clue what the movie is about. And I am one of those people. I had no clue what this movie is about. In fact, I kind of thought it was a horror movie for some reason, but I think I was confusing it with Rosemary's Baby that I finally watched last year.
Yeah, I remember when you talked about that.
So tell me, is this a horror movie in any respect?
Well, one could say that the atrocities of Nazi Germany were, in fact, a horror show.
Okay.
But it is not a traditional horror movie. It is the story of a young man who comes up from the South. Now, how crazy is this? Last week, when we were playing that game, Kiss, Marry, Kill, one of the people that came up was this guy, Peter McNeil. And I'm like, I don't know who he is, except to say that he was on Ally McBeal, right? Which at the time was a huge phenomenon and whatever. However, I mean, butter my toast. Who should be the young writer, hopeful writer, moving up to New York from the South, but Peter McNeil?
Peter McNichol, isn't it?
McNichol, yes. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? That's crazy that I decided to watch this movie. Of all the gin joints,
Right.
this is the one that he walked into. So,
And also Kevin Kline and Meryl Streep.
who I now understand the whole accent thing. Like, people always talk about her and her accents and like the fact that she can do so many different accents because
Is this the movie that put her on the map?
I think this is the movie that put her on the map. So Peter McNichol plays a Southern young guy that's come up to Brooklyn to write a book. And he moves into a house, and upstairs, it's kind of like rooms for rent type of sitch. And upstairs, there is a couple, Sophie and Nathan. And Nathan is a Jewish biologist, and she is a survivor of the concentration camps. She's from Poland. And so they have this really crazy dynamic, like sometimes everything is great, and then other times Nathan, the Kevin Kline character, is so angry with her as a Jewish man for surviving. And he's like, why did you? And he starts to think too much about what she must have done to survive the situation. And it's like she clearly has a lot of guilt about her situation and the way that she comes across as sort of this like innocent and things were hard. But then she finally starts to tell her story to Stingo, who is the character played by Peter McNichol. And so in the middle of the movie, you kind of go, it's a 2.5-hour movie. You go back in time.
Gotta go back in time.
Exactly. And you see that her father was a professor, and the way that she painted him is that he was a professor and that he was a cultured, decent man. No, turns out he was not a fan of Jewish folks. And but when the Nazis came through and basically got rid of all of the academics, he went with them. As one of the people say, you don't stop to ask a person's political views. You just kind of steamroll. And she was married and she had 2 children. So here's the choice. She gets to, I believe it was Auschwitz, and she has to choose who's going to be, of her 2 children, who's going to be exterminated.
Ooh.
Right. And she chooses her son because she feels that he probably has the strength to survive versus her daughter. And
so she chooses to keep her son.
And she doesn't, like, they take him away, but it's like you have to make these choices. But the things that she had to do to survive throughout, like, because she's fair-haired and, you know, she's not Jewish, but she's Polish, and that was, at the time, as much of a crime in some ways. And so she's also, her father was a linguistics professor, so she speaks proper German, but she also speaks Russian, and she speaks all these different languages so she can get a job working for the commandant. And, you know, it's like she is doing what she needs to do to survive. And so it's a constant set of choices that she's constantly having to make. It's quite a sad ending, and it's like deciding to go ahead and be burdened with your choices and to die under the weight of them.
Yeah.
So quite a heavy movie, but
Yeah, that sounds pretty heavy.
But, I mean, Kevin Kline, you're like, I forget how charismatic he is as an actor.
Yeah, we're used to him being kind of a funny, romantic comedy guy, but he can do dramatic roles as well as anybody.
And in this role, he plays this person who, like, when he's happy, you know, you're like, oh, this man is, like, eloquent and articulate and, you know, fun and funny and all these things. But then when his very mercurial mood shifts, you're like, oh, that's some dark demons that are happening. And so a very interesting relationship there. And the narrator is Stingo, who's this Southern writer, which would only make sense then that this movie was based on a book. And so you have to think that the author is making himself as the narrator of this story. But the accents that she did, I mean, not that I have anything to compare it to. I'm like the lady in the Wendy's ad saying like, evening there, like that could have sounded authentic to me. But her accents were really quite good. And it was
as good as my impression of General Beauregard Lee.
I mean, it's a hard decision.
It's a real Sophie's choice.
But I'm going to say that Meryl ekes it out just a little bit.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, so worth watching, honestly. A really interesting, compelling story, and so nice to finally understand what Sophie's choice was.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And just for a quick correction, I guess we can't really say that this is the movie that put Meryl on the map because she already had major roles in The Deer Hunter and Kramer versus Kramer.
But I think the accent thing.
Sure. Yeah, but she was already a well-known commodity. And by the way, enjoying her very much in Only Murders in the Building. She's been on the last 3 seasons or so. And she's a fun addition to that cast.
She is. And it's kind of fun to see her in something where it's like she's part of an ensemble. It's not like all on her shoulders.
Right. And in a comedy.
Yeah.
Thing, because she's rarely in comedic roles.
Totally. So that's been kind of fun. But yeah, so that was my cultural blind spot. All right, what about you?
Well, very good. Well, the movies that I watched, I would not classify them in the same league, both critically or culturally, as Sophie's Choice. Just because, like I said, that phrase has become ubiquitous in culture, whereas people don't talk as much about the classic 82 horror fantasy movie, Creepshow. But I feel like this movie made a big impact upon arrival. I remember people talking about it when I was a kid, and also there's a TV series now out called Creepshow that is inspired by this film. And it was a time when there was quite a few of these horror adjacent. I'll say horror adjacent because none of them are really scary. They're not like, I don't know, they're not like slasher flicks or anything like that. They're just like spooky-ish kind of stuff, but oftentimes kind of over the top, silly at the same time. So there was Creepshow, there was the Twilight Zone movie, there was Trilogy of Terror. There was like Body Bags. That was a cable one John Carpenter did. So there was a lot of these, and you really don't see this sort of thing anymore for some reason. But they would basically combine like 3 30-minute stories into a full-length film.
Okay, so truly like an anthology.
Exactly, yes. And so Creepshow is, if maybe the first one to do that. And I got to say, I love the graphics of this. This was partially inspired by the horror comics of the 50s.
Yeah, with the letters like coming across.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I don't remember the movie per se because it wasn't my genre, but I can distinctly see what the movie poster looked like.
Yes, yeah. It's got like basically a skeleton selling the ticket at a movie theater, and it is fun. I will say it's fun, but this is a Stephen King scripted movie, and George Romero directed it, and I do like George Romero. All his Dead movies, we're talking Dawn of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, those are all really good. So I had high hopes going into this. And of course, Stephen King is known for, helping to create some classic movies like The Shining.
Right.
Of course, he wasn't happy with The Shining, but he had written the book that it was based on.
Yep.
And so, you're talking about people with real credentials in this genre.
I have a feeling it's not going so. I have a feeling based on where you're going.
This movie is hammy as hell.
Really?
And there's one short that has Stephen King actually starring in it as like a dumb farmer who finds a meteorite and then cracks open the meteorite by accident, gets goo on him, and basically this takes over his whole farm. It's like it starts growing this like plant
like the
vine,
blobish
vines basically all over him, his house, his TV,
oh my gosh,
everything. And that's a good premise, but it never really goes anywhere. And instead of doing anything like the rest of us would do, like, hey, let's go to a hospital, see if we can get treatment for this, he just stays inside watching TV as this thing gradually comes over him. And then in the end, he just calls it quits, basically, which is wild. And then there's another story where a lady had gotten sick of her abusive father and kills him, but she comes back and visits his grave every year. And he comes back to life basically because he's upset that he never got his slice of cake that he was supposed to get on Father's Day. So he spends the whole thing as a zombie going, I want my cake.
Stop.
It's ridiculous. And
a toddler zombie.
Essentially, yes, yeah. But it also has Leslie Nielsen in a dramatic role.
What?
He plays a killer in this who buries Ted Danson in the beach.
Ted Danson?
Yes,
he came up too the other day. Wow.
Right. He buries Ted Danson in the sand, so just his head is exposed, and then basically Ted Danson drowns. That could be scary, but the way it's executed is super goofy. And also just Ted Danson does not give like victim vibes. And then he comes back and ends up taking revenge on Leslie Nielsen's character. It's fun, but again, not scary. And all this stuff is really cartoonish and goofy. And I like cartoonish and goofy, especially when it's horror adjacent. But in this case, I don't feel like they quite stick the landing. None of these stories add up to anything, really. So I give this around Halloween, you want some fun for 90 minutes or so, or for a couple hours, this is worth putting on in the background. But this is not I'm going to make any list of best movies ever.
Okay.
But nevertheless, it was entertaining.
Okay. That's kind of fun, though.
Yes. Yeah. And another movie I watched recently that we both watched was one that came out just, I want to say this year, but I feel like it might have been 2025 because we're on that cusp of time. But Roofman.
Oh, yes.
2025. And we both happened to watch this recently, and I didn't really know what to expect with this movie. The poster made it look kind of fun, and I had a vague concept of a guy living in a department store,
right?
Which I always think is a fun concept.
Right.
But I didn't know much more than that. But watching it, I was really entertained by this. I thought everybody in the cast was great. Channing Tatum stars in it. Kirsten Dunst is back, and she's great. Peter Dinklage, who's always good and everything. And Ben Mendelsohn, who had I only seen play a villain before. plays a very likable preacher guy. So the thing that I didn't expect is that this is based on a true story about a criminal on the run from the law who hides out in a Toys R Us, essentially. And he's able to, live there and just shoplifting for his needs overnight for a long time before he's eventually caught. And he's only caught because he goes... He starts dating a lady that works at the store, which is insane. Like every move this guy makes, it's like there's something smart about it, but then it's also completely boneheaded about it. And it's really fun having that tension between him, like being a real smart problem solver, but also just making the dumbest decisions ever. And yeah, I feel like this may be the only Channing Tatum or Charming Potato, as the girlfriend calls him, movie that I've seen. But yeah, he was good in this. What did you think?
I was expecting much more of like kind of rom-com-y, like, yes, he was a bad guy and he was living on the roof, but he like got into the employee from afar and like it becomes like a meet cute. And then he's got to figure out how to make his way into life and her heart kind of thing. Right.
Right.
So I was like, oh, he's like fully living like a double life.
Yes.
And so it was really interesting. And it kept it was funny because Pete started watching it and I was like, I'm not a huge Channing Tatum fan. So I was like, I don't know that I'm going to watch this. And I ended up staying and watching the whole thing. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And then at the end, they had, I think, like footage of people that were interviewed at the time about this guy and how nice he was.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's so interesting. Like, he's like the bad guy who like, oh, shoot.
Polite criminal.
Yes. Like I shot somebody and I didn't mean to, or I hit them, or I whacked them, or I dropped something on him. And it was like, darn it. Now I got to make sure the person's okay and get the first aid kit and like. Ugh.
Gives his own jacket to an employee that he confines in a walk-in freezer.
Right.
Essentially, so that the guy doesn't, freeze.
Right.
So he's polite and considerate, but at the same time, he's committing crimes. And like it does really dumb stuff, like he went to see a dentist while he's on the lam because he's living off of peanut M&Ms. But then he decides to burn down the dentist's office to cover up the records, I guess.
Right.
Which is really stupid.
Yeah. Because it's like, the guy that he's working with to get the new identity is like, you didn't leave any trace, right?
Right, yes.
And he's like, what? Me? No, never. Yeah. So I was surprised, too, that it was really kind of enjoyable. It was a lot more than I expected it to be.
Agreed, yeah. I think it was a lot of fun, and I recommend it. And you can check that out on Paramount Plus at the moment. And yeah, I don't think that this... I think it's a better movie than Creepshow. I don't think it's going to change cinema in any respect. But as far as, just a fun movie, I think even family friendly, I'd describe this as.
I think so. Like he's got like an interesting relationship with her kids. And, and it's around the holidays. I wouldn't describe it as a holiday movie, but it is centered around the holidays and getting ready for the season. And, that was really interesting. And I did appreciate that at the end.
As I'm thinking about it, there is a tiny nipple slip in there, but you can.
Well, that happens at the Super Bowl.
If that worries,
these days.
if that worries you when I call it family friendly, I don't want anybody going, you said this was family friendly and we saw Juno Temple's nipple.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's a very brief scene where that happens.
There is that.
But in this day and age, really,
I mean,
if that is going to bother you, then never mind.
Right. Then good luck.
Once you heard Criminal, you were watching it anyway.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But I appreciated that at the end, like, it wasn't like, and they all end up happily ever after.
Amen to that. Because when I saw it was based on a true story, I thought, okay, this is cool, but we're probably going to get some Hollywood redux of it where they work it out and somehow he's like...
Now he's working for the good guys.
He was sentenced to 45 years in jail, but somehow he's going to work out a deal where he's free because he was able to be a good stepdad or something, you know? And they didn't do that. They told the actual facts where he's back in jail. And says he's not going to try and escape again. But then they show, like, he tried to escape again.
Like 3 more times.
3 more times, yes.
Yeah. So I was like, dang. Like, you know, he says he's not going to try. And then it was like in 2007, 2013, and 2017 or something like that.
Right.
Like he tried to escape. And
they kept it real. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I did too. So I appreciated that. So, yeah, I agree with you. Better than expected. And, you know, like... if you're looking for something to watch, it's a crowd pleaser.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's all I have for this week.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Sophie's Choice. That was enough.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. And I still have to finish it.
I love the fact that we've covered the heavy, the goofy, and the light.
Yes.
So there's something for everybody in today's segment.
Totally.
And we need to take a break so we can come back and get to our top topic or our great debate, which was, what is the perfect length for a text message or a voicemail? Should people even bother doing either of those? We'll get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Reiner.
Hey, I'm the other one. I'm Stacey Heller, and I'm chewing a peanut chew. I snuck one in during the break.
Well, just don't give one to Metaline Mike.
No, chocolate could kill him.
As far as we know. I don't know if it's the same rule for groundhogs as it is for dogs and cats, but usually chocolate's not good for animals.
Yeah,
so just as a rule of thumb.
Yeah, okay. So none for Metaline Mike.
Anyway, so this is the section of the show where we talk about our top topic for the week, our great debate. The Wheel of Topics helps us pick that topic each week. And not each week, but every so often you put new topics onto the Wheel of Topics.
I do.
And so because you're the one that comes up with the ideas for discussion, I always like to find out what was the thinking behind adding it to the wheel, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the world. But usually something in life has inspired you to drop it on the wheel. So today, again, it's perfect length for a text or voicemail. And so that means you were possibly dealing with this recently.
I was. Thank you for asking. So typically when I'm texting with my husband, he will just answer K. He used to do KK, but now he's reduced it to just K.
At least he didn't do KKK.
That's true.
Could be worse.
That is very true. And so, you know, it would be like, you could be a little bit more, I don't know, effusive than that. But then there's like when you're driving and you can do like voice to text kind of thing.
Yes.
Then I'm noticing that I'm starting to do voice to text. Like if I'm going someplace, then I'll just be like, so hey, blah, 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 blah. They are so freaking long when I leave these voice to text messages because it is stream of consciousness. I notice that I always start it with the word so. So here's the deal. I'm going to be late. Blah, 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 blah. They're way too long. I I'm way over talking. Then I started to observe the fact that my kids are leaving like these, it's not really a voicemail, it's like a voice text that they're leaving now where they'll do that. They'll have like the one-sided conversation and leave a voice
like a voice
text.
memo?
Yeah, so
that they
like,
send you as a text?
Yeah, so it's audio.
Okay, yeah, it's a voice memo.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. Like, are you supposed to do that? You know, when it's too long? Like, what's going on? And then
and people will sometimes do little videos as well.
Yeah,
I'm not listening to these. I'm not watching these. If you're gonna text me, make it a text. Well, if you're gonna call me, leave me a voicemail. Then leave a voicemail.
Well, and I am so my age.
Yeah.
Because I will do But
this sounds like they're old and they don't know how to work their phone.
No, it's my kids.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but it's
they
true.
should know better.
But I think it's interesting that they, given the fact that they were all had phones.
Yeah, they're digital natives, but still they can be,
but they're actually
craving.
About something. Well, here's what I think is funny. As an older generation, we're all like, great, I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just text. Like, if you call me, I'm 100% going to let it go to voicemail.
Right.
And I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then I'm going to decide if I want to answer you or not.
Yes.
And, like, a text, same thing, because, like, even though I always have my phone on me, like, you don't know if my phone is on me, and so I can take my time to respond.
What does your voice message say when people call you?
I have no idea.
You really?
No.
So do you have just the default one that came with the phone?
I don't think so.
That says your phone number? Or did you do a personalized?
I think I did. We'll have to call me.
I'll tell you mine. I say, this is Eric. If you want to talk to me, you have to leave a message. Because people call, and then I don't know if this is important or a scam or whatever, or, they're just...
Right.
Accidentally called me. Even if it's people I know, it could be an accident. It could be a butt dial.
Totally.
So if they leave a message, then I know, they actually want to talk.
It's purposeful.
Yeah. But you would be surprised at how hard that is to get through people's heads. Like, I have to leave a voicemail?
Well, did you see I called?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you call, but that doesn't mean I'm going to call you back. I don't know if this is an accident. Like I said, I don't know if this is important. Leave a voicemail. It's not that hard.
I think it is for people. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I just think it's fascinating.
But again, if you're not expecting a call back, then don't leave a voicemail. But if you're expecting a call back, you have to leave a voicemail.
Right. Like, you got to tell me what you want.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fascinating that generationally, like, none of us want to be contacted. We're like, this is the most amazing technology ever. Like, I don't have to answer the phone. This is amazing.
Yes.
And the younger generation, at least with the small sample that I have of my 4 kids and their friends, like, they're all talking to each other all the time and in long form. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Like making calls or just on a text chain?
They will call. One of my kids likes to call. One of my kids is constantly texting with his friend group. One of them is constantly doing FaceTimes, only wants to talk over FaceTime. And I'm like, I am trying to walk around and talk at the same time. And when I'm moving, I can't,
Yeah, one of my younger coworkers, it's funny that you say this, one of my younger coworkers was getting a FaceTime the other day, and I saw that, and I'm like, do people actually FaceTime?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just one of those things they came up with, in concept, this is going to be a revolutionizing, conversation, and everybody's going to want to do this. But in reality, when you see yourself on the camera and you can't spend the whole time holding the phone above your head, you'd go, no, never. I'm not going to FaceTime with anybody.
Right. And so half the time I'm like...
If I've got a drone floating in front of me that filters out the drone noise, then maybe I could do that. Otherwise, it's just my, fat neck or something that you're looking at, or up my nose, you know? And it's
so with you on this because I'm like walking around and
I don't want to think about that while I'm talking.
No. And like, how can I go to the bathroom?
Right.
Like if I'm on the phone, at least I can put it on speaker and I can talk to you and you don't know what's happening.
And that's been so like supplanted by things like Zoom and Teams and all this stuff that really feels like it's a work thing where you have to be on camera for a call. But your friends and family, you want to just have a casual, relaxed thing that's not like constantly like they're looking at me. Yeah.
Right. And I have to hold my phone in such a way.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like...
You want it to be like a relaxed,
It's like so much. And then I have a kid that like basically never calls, never writes. So, you know, we're all over the map. But I just... You know, it's interesting to see the cadence of what, you know, people's texts are like. And, you know, like one of my daughters was dating this guy and she was leaving him voice memos. Like he was like, hey, how's the book that you're reading? And so she left like a whole voice memo about, and it's the whole like too long to read type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
TLDR.
Yep, that one. And so I'm like, why don't you just talk on the phone then? Like but then like we don't really want to talk on the phone. So you're leaving like voice messages back and forth. And I'm like, I suppose that's good. I don't know. It's just fascinating. And as far as length of these things goes, like,
well, yeah, we got to get to the length thing. But I just want to say that I feel like if it's a romantic relationship, then all bets are off. That's entirely different than if you're talking with your friends, your family, your coworkers.
Yeah, totally.
Because when you're into somebody and you've got that energy of like, I really want to talk to them all the time.
Right. Well, let me see your cute little squishy face.
That is totally a different vibe altogether. And of course, yes, you want to. I remember like talking to girls on the phone for 6 hours
about nothing.
About nothing. Yes, like, you still there? Yeah, I'm still here.
No, you hang up first.
No, yeah, exactly. Like getting like a really long cord for the phone and like taking it outside and just like being out there for hours just chatting away, you know, about stupid nothing nonsense. But because they were cute and they thought possibly you were cute, and so. Yeah, okay, that's an entirely different realm of conversation. I would think like you talk to the max until the beep cuts you off when you're leaving a voicemail for that person. But for the other people, I feel like you got to get to the point.
Hey, it's Stacey. Give me a call. I have a question.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds or whatever. If you're asking a specific question that you feel like you could state in a voicemail, then more power to you.
Well, and text it at that point.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I see voicemails on my phone, I'm like, oh, good. Somebody's calling me from fill in the blank bank and wants me to know that my loan has been approved for $40,000.
Yes.
And all I need to do is give them a call and it'll be easy peasy. And I'm like, if I took out every loan that was attached to a voicemail that I've gotten, I would be hella rich / in debt.
Now, do you find that because you mentioned the voice to text, you're doing that a lot, which I also do when I'm driving. Does your device, whether it's your car or your phone, do a good job of transcribing what you're saying?
For the most part.
Yeah.
And I will very often start it out by saying... So, because I always start with so. So this is a voice to text. So hopefully you can figure out what it is that I'm trying to say, and then I'll get into it. But I'll try to have enough of a pause between that it's translating it as an end of one sentence and going into the next.
They've gotten so much better because I remember like the early days when you had like a Google voicemail and it would auto translate. And the translations would just be gobbledygook.
Oh, so
but
off.
Now they've gotten so much better. But it's still frustrating how wrong it is. I send the same text every morning. Gertie got her breakfast. Have a good day. And every time it will read me the text that is about to send. And it says, Dirty had breakfast. And then I'll go, okay, no. Gertie had breakfast. And I'll like find myself like really enunciating Gertie, and it'll be like Dirty had breakfast. And I'm like, I tell you this every day, Car.
Okay.
Why can't you get this?
I do feel like you could do a shortcut for that. Like, there's a shortcut.
Possibly, but I feel like it should just figure it out after hearing the same message over and over for a year.
This is fair. This
Yes.
is fair.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
No,
but
I
it is
mean,
like a little frustration. But again, it's like I also try and remind myself, this technology didn't exist, like 3 years ago.
Right.
I can't be this frustrated with it.
with it.
But it does frustrate.
Well, because it's like, what? That's not what I said.
Exactly.
And especially when you're doing it in the car, because, I've had to make a lot of arrangements with different people with the whole moving process and hey, I'll meet you at this place or whatever. And then I read it after and I'm like, oh, geez. So then I have to send well, this is what I meant, or this is what time, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I will say though, I have started doing that instead of leaving voicemails. Like for some reason, voicemails to me are now strictly associated with spam and doctor's appointments.
I agree. Yeah. And I feel like if you ever have to leave a message for anybody, you should just try and keep it as concise as possible. Mm-hmm. If it requires more than 30 seconds, then really you need a phone call where you can talk back and forth. In which case your voicemail should be, hey, I've got a question about such and such. Can you give me a call back?
Yep.
Yeah. Or if you're calling, and then also if you're calling like a family member or a friend, you could just say, call me back when you're able. I love you or whatever.
Yeah.
Just keep it nice and concise.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think we were both in agreement. Shorter is better.
Yeah. And as I say, I do wonder if that is a bit of a generational thing, because when I see some of these, the flying fingers and the texts that are going and the long voicemail and audio messages and wanting to FaceTime, I'm like, people. So,
but hey, I think the relationship of the person that you're connecting to is so important to take into effect. There's no like ironclad rule where it all depends on your relationship with that person.
Well, and this would be an interesting one for our listeners to give us feedback on. Like we're actually asking you, what do you like? What do you think is like the ideal way to communicate with people if you're not wanting to speak directly to them? And what's your thoughts about how long something should be? You can shoot us a text or leave a short, concise voicemail at 475-999-2726.
Or you can even email us asking@don'taskmetotalk.com.
Yeah, you can be a little bit more verbose in the email.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've solved it, so let's go ahead and find out what we're talking about next time.
Let's do it.
Sponsored by?
I won't share the backstory. If you were to have a sponsor for yourself, a brand sponsor, who would you want to be sponsored by?
Well, anybody with the money.
Well, there's that. That's the short answer, speaking of concise. But
we'll give it a little more thought over the week.
Okay. And I have the backstory is kind of funny, so I'll share that next week.
I'm looking forward to that. Everybody, be sure and tune in next time for another edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.